What's going on YouTube? Listen up, young elder gang. This is Dr. Joe Blow at you with another banger. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video, fam. I hope this video get at least 100,000 likes. In this video, you will find history, definitions, scripture, information, and best of all, what we Americans have been deprived of from the beginning, the truth. Keep in mind, this content used in this video is intended for entertainment, educational, and informational purposes only. We will give you the total truth as we best understand it today. Be sure to hit that like button, young elder gang. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Hit that bell and don't forget to check back with us every day for new content. Bismillah el-Rahman el-Rahim. Bismillah el-Rahman el-Rahim is an Arabic phrase that means in the name of God, Allah, most gracious, most merciful. It is also known as the basmala or tasmiyah. Assalamu alaikum. Muslims greet each other by saying Assalamu alaikum, which is an Arabic phrase that means peace be upon you. The response is Wa alaikum as-salam, which means and peace be with you too. The word salam means peace, and is often used as a greeting in Arabic. The use of salam as a greeting dates back to at least the 6th century. The word salima means to surrender to the will of God, and is the root of Muslim, but the word is musalam, which means one of peace. In the Bible, Jesus says, peace be upon you in the Gospel of John and in Luke. John 20:19, Jesus says, peace be upon you to his disciples after his resurrection when they were hiding in fear. Luke 24:36-41, Jesus appears to his disciples and says, peace be upon you. The disciples are frightened and think they are seeing a ghost. Keep in mind, Jesus or Yahshua didn't speak English, he spoke Hebrew and Arabic, so he said, As-salamu alaikum or shalom aleichem. Shalom, the most well-known greeting and parting phrase in Hebrew, which means peace. It can be used in both formal and informal situations. Shalom aleichem, a fuller greeting that means peace be upon you. The response is aleichem shalom, which means to you be peace. Ma shlomcha ma shlomaik, a casual way to say hello and ask how someone is doing, which literally means what is your peace. Today, we will be breaking down the fascinating world of the Islamic religion. Islam is a diverse religion with a rich history, and understanding its different branches can be quite insightful. So, let's dive in. First up, we have the two main branches, Sunni and Shia. Sunni Muslims make up about 85% of the world's Muslim population. They believe the successor of Prophet Muhammad should be elected from those capable of the job, which led to Abu Bakr becoming the first caliph. On the other hand, Shia Muslims, who make up around 15%, believe that leadership should stay within the Prophet's family, specifically appointing Ali, Muhammad's cousin and son-in-law, as the rightful successor. This key difference has shaped much of the historical and theological distinctions between the two groups. Now let's talk about some other notable branches and sects. Sufism is a mystical form of Islam that can be found within both Sunni and Shia traditions. Sufis focus on the inward search for God and emphasize personal spiritual experiences. Next we have the Ibadi, primarily found in Oman. They are considered one of the oldest sects, predating both Sunni and Shia, and have unique beliefs, especially regarding leadership and community governance. Then there are groups like the Ahmadiyya, who believe in the messiahship of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, and are often viewed as non-Muslim by mainstream Islamic sects. Within Sunni Islam itself, there are 4 main schools of jurisprudence: Hanafi, Maliki, Shafi'i, and Hanbali. These schools differ in their interpretations of Islamic law and practices, but all recognize each other's legitimacy. Speaking of interpretations, we have the Salafi movement, which seeks to return to what they consider the original practices of Islam. This includes groups like the Wahhabis, who have a very literal approach to the Quran and Hadith. Shia Islam also has its own subdivisions, such as the Twelvers, who believe in a line of 12 imams, and the Ismailis, who split over the succession of the 7th imam. There are also the Zaydis in Yemen, who have similarities with Sunni practices but distinct beliefs about leadership. And let's not forget about the historical Khawarij, a radical group that initially supported Ali but later turned against him and advocated for extreme views on takfir, or excommunication. While most Khawarij sects have faded, the Ibadi remain as a moderate offshoot. Lastly, there are groups like the Nation of Islam, which emerged in the 20th century in the United States, combining elements of Islam with black nationalism. It's important to remember that these distinctions have led to both rich cultural diversity and, unfortunately, conflict. Understanding these differences can help us appreciate the complex tapestry of Islamic beliefs and practices. Remember, Learning about different cultures and religions is key to fostering understanding and respect. In Islam, the Ansar are the early Muslims who lived in Medina and helped the Islamic prophet Muhammad and his followers, the Muhajirun, when they fled Mecca during the Hijrah. The original Ansars are in Sudan. One part, Ansar Allah, also known as the Houthi movement, is a Shia Islamist political and military organization in Yemen. Ansar Allah's slogan is, "God is the greatest, death to America, death to Israel, a curse upon the Jews, victory to Islam." The Ansar were members of the Banu Khazraj and Banu Aus tribes of Medina. The name Ansar translates to helpers or those who bring victory. The Ansar welcomed the Muhajirun into their homes. The Ansar are considered companions of the Prophet, along with the Muhajirun and the Badriyun. The companions are the most important sources of hadith, which is a record of Muhammad's sayings and activities. The Prophet said, "None loves the Ansar but a believer, and none hates them but a hypocrite. So Allah will love him who loves them, and he will hate him who hates them." The term Ansar may also refer to a number of Islamist groups, including Ansar al-Islam, a Sunni Islamist group in Iraq, Ansar al-Sharia, a number of Islamist groups in the Arab world, Ansar-e-Hezbollah, a militant conservative Islamic group in Iran, Ansar al-Sunnah, an Islamist militant group in Mozambique, Ansar Dine, a Tuareg Islamist group, Ansaru, a Nigerian Islamist group. Islam is the world's second largest religion, with over 1.8 billion followers. Muslims believe in one God, referred to as Allah in Arabic. Islam is a monotheistic religion, meaning Muslims worship only one God. They teach that the term Islam means submission to the will of Allah. Founded in the 7th century, Islam's teachings are derived from the Quran and the Hadiths. The Quran is the holy book of Islam, believed to be the word of God as revealed to Prophet Muhammad. Prophet Muhammad is considered the last prophet in Islam. The Shahada is the Islamic declaration of faith and is the first step in becoming a Muslim. It is a simple yet profound statement, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, which means there is no God but Allah and Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. Reciting the Shahada with sincerity and conviction converts a person to Islam. This declaration is done in front of witnesses, usually family or members of the local Muslim community. The Shahada signifies the acceptance of Allah as the one true God and Muhammad as his final prophet. The Shahada is not just a statement but a commitment to live according to Islamic teachings. It represents a complete submission to the will of Allah. This declaration is often recited during daily prayers, reinforcing a Muslim's faith and dedication. By accepting the Shahada, a person enters the fold of Islam and becomes part of the global Muslim community. This first step opens the door to further learning and practicing the Islamic way of life. The Hajj is a yearly Islamic pilgrimage to Mecca, Saudi Arabia, that is a religious obligation for Muslims who are physically and financially able to make the journey. It is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, along with the profession of faith, prayer, almsgiving and fasting. The Hajj is a deeply spiritual experience for Muslims and is considered a chance to seek forgiveness for sins, grow closer to God, follow in the footsteps of prophets, and experience a sense of unity with other Muslims. The Hajj takes place during the Islamic lunar month of Dhul Hijjah, the 12th and final month of the Islamic calendar year. The pilgrimage begins on the 7th day of Dhul al-Hijjah and ends on the 12th day. The Hajj is centered around the Kaaba, which is located in the sanctuary in Mecca, the birthplace of the Prophet Muhammad. Mecca is the holiest city in Islam and is closed to believers of other faiths. During the Hajj, pilgrims stop at 3 pillars called Jamarat in the city of Mina, where they throw stones at the pillars. This is done in remembrance of the place where Satan is believed to have tempted Abraham. Pilgrims also celebrate Eid ul-Adha, the second holy festival of the year, during the Hajj. A mosque is a place of worship for Muslims, and the word comes from the Arabic word masjid, which means place of prostration or temple. Mosques are considered houses of God and are a central part of the Muslim community. Mosques serve many purposes, including place of worship. Muslims pray in mosques facing Mecca, the holy city. Community center. Mosques are a place for Muslims to gather for social, spiritual, and economic interaction. Weekly prayer. On Friday afternoons, Muslims gather for the weekly congregational prayer known as Jummah. Mosques can be modest structures or architectural masterpieces and often feature a minaret or onion-shaped dome on top. The word mosque comes from the Middle French word mosque, which came from Italian and Old Spanish. Before that, the English-speaking world used many different variations of the word, including mosque, musky, mosque, and mosque. An imam is a Muslim religious leader who leads prayers in a mosque and may also serve as a spiritual advisor and community leader. Imams lead daily prayers, teach about the Quran and the life of the Prophet Muhammad, officiate at weddings and funerals, and develop youth programs. The title of imam is most commonly used for the prayer leader of a mosque in Sunni Islam. The word imam comes from the Arabic word amma, which means to go before. In most mosques, only men serve as imams, but in some countries or traditions, a woman may serve as an imam in special situations. The term imam can also refer to the head of the Muslim community, ummah. In Shia Islam, the 12 imams are revered as divinely appointed successors of Muhammad. Along with the Prophet Muhammad and his daughter Fatima al-Zahra, they are considered to be part of the 14 infallible figures. Imams are religious leaders in the religion of Islam. They lead daily prayers, teach people about the Quran, the Muslim holy book, and the life of the Prophet Muhammad, officiate at weddings and funerals, and develop and oversee youth programs at their mosque. Belief in Allah is the cornerstone of Islamic faith. Muslims believe that Allah is the one and only God, who is eternal, all-powerful, and merciful. He is the creator of everything and has no partners or equals. Muslims also believe in angels, who are spiritual beings created by Allah to perform various tasks. Angels are considered messengers of Allah, playing crucial roles in conveying His will to prophets and guarding humans. The prophets are another essential belief in Islam. Muslims believe in all prophets sent by Allah, including Adam, Noah, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad. Muhammad is regarded as the last prophet, whose life and teachings are to be followed by Muslims. The Day of Judgment is a fundamental belief in Islam. The Day of Judgment, called Yawm al-Qiyamah, all people will be resurrected and judged by Allah for their deeds and faith. Muslims believe that everyone will be resurrected and judged by Allah for their deeds. The righteous will be rewarded with paradise, while the wicked will face punishment in hell. Belief in this day encourages Muslims to live a righteous and morally upright life. The 5 pillars of Islam are Shahada, faith, Salah, prayer, Zakat, charity, Psalm, fasting, and Hajj, pilgrimage. Salah involves praying 5 times a day facing Mecca. These prayers are at dawn, noon, mid-afternoon, sunset, and night. Prayer links worshippers to Allah. Zakat is giving to charity. Muslims give 2.5% of savings to those in need. This purifies wealth and promotes equality. Psalm is fasting during Ramadan. Muslims abstain from food and drink from dawn to sunset. Fasting teaches self-control and compassion. Hajj is the pilgrimage to Mecca. It includes rituals over several days, promoting unity and equality among Muslims. Dietary laws, halal and haram. Halal refers to what is permissible or lawful in Islam, particularly in relation to food and drink. Muslims follow strict dietary laws to ensure their consumption is halal. The Quran provides guidelines on what is considered halal and haram, or forbidden. Pork and its byproducts, blood, and the flesh of animals not slaughtered in the name of Allah are considered haram. Alcohol and intoxicants are also forbidden in Islam. These restrictions are intended to promote physical and spiritual health. Halal meat must be slaughtered in a specific way known as dabiha. This involves invoking the name of Allah and swiftly cutting the animal's throat, allowing the blood to drain. This method is believed to be humane and ensures the meat is free from impurities. Muslims are encouraged to consume wholesome and pure foods. The concept of halal extends beyond food to other aspects of life, emphasizing cleanliness and ethical living. Following halal guidelines fosters a sense of discipline and mindfulness about one's actions. Muslims observe Ramadan, the 9th month of the Islamic calendar, by fasting, praying, and giving to charity. Here are some ways Muslims observe Ramadan. Muslims abstain from eating, drinking, and smoking from dawn until sunset. This act of worship is called al-Sawm, which means to abstain. Muslims pray more often during Ramadan, including 5 daily prayers and a special night prayer called the Tarawih. Muslims spend more time reading the Quran, Islam's holy book. Muslims give to charity in many ways, including providing iftar meals for the needy, distributing food boxes, or helping to hold free communal meals. At the end of Ramadan, Muslims celebrate Eid al-Fitr, the festival of the breaking of the fast. Families and friends gather for meals and exchange gifts. Muslims eat a pre-dawn meal called suhoor to prepare for the day's fast. After sunset, they break their fast with a meal called iftar. Muslims decorate with lanterns the star and crescent moon and other symbols of Islam. After iftar, Muslims often visit family and friends. Ramadan commemorates the revelation of the first verses of the Quran to the Prophet Muhammad. The importance of the Quran. The Quran is the holy book of Islam, believed to be the literal word of Allah as revealed to Prophet Muhammad. It is written in Arabic and has remained unchanged since its revelation over 1,400 years ago. The Quran serves as a comprehensive guide for all aspects of life. Muslims recite and memorize the Quran as an act of worship. It is divided into chapters called surahs and verses known as ayahs. The Quran covers various topics including theology, law, morality, and guidance for personal conduct. Understanding the Quran is essential for practicing Islam. Muslims believe that the Quran's teachings lead to a righteous life and ultimate salvation. It is recited during daily prayers, and Muslims often read it during special occasions and religious observances. The Quran also plays a central role in Islamic education. Children and adults study it to learn about their faith and how to live according to its principles. The Quran's emphasis on justice, compassion, and mercy resonates with Muslims worldwide. Sharia law in a Muslim's life. Sharia is the Islamic legal system derived from the Quran and the Hadiths. It encompasses all aspects of a Muslim's life, including daily routines, family and social obligations, financial dealings, and ethical conduct. Sharia aims to promote justice, fairness, and morality. Sharia is not a single code but a collection of interpretations by Islamic scholars. It addresses both public and private behavior, offering guidelines for personal conduct and societal laws. Sharia is divided into acts of worship and human interactions, covering rituals, transactions, and criminal matters. Muslims follow Sharia to align their actions with Islamic principles. It provides a framework for resolving disputes, promoting social harmony, and ensuring justice. While the application of Sharia can vary, its core principles remain consistent: compassion, justice, and respect for human dignity. In modern contexts, Sharia influences personal status laws, financial transactions, and ethical standards in Muslim-majority countries. Muslims living in non-Muslim countries also adhere to Sharia in their personal lives, demonstrating its adaptability and relevance. Spiritual benefits of becoming a Muslim. Embracing Islam offers numerous spiritual benefits. The most significant is the sense of peace and purpose that comes from submitting to the will of Allah. This submission fosters a deep, personal connection with God, providing comfort and guidance. Islam encourages constant remembrance of Allah through prayers, supplications, and righteous deeds. This continuous mindfulness helps Muslims lead disciplined and fulfilling lives. The rituals and practices of Islam, such as prayer and fasting, promote spiritual growth and self-improvement. The Quran and Hadiths provide wisdom and guidance, helping Muslims navigate life's challenges with faith and resilience. Islam's emphasis on community and brotherhood creates a supportive environment for spiritual development. Muslims are encouraged to help one another and work together for the common good. Becoming a Muslim also means joining a global community of believers. This sense of belonging and shared faith is a source of strength and solidarity. The spiritual benefits of Islam extend beyond individual fulfillment, contributing to a harmonious and compassionate society. Steps to convert to Islam. Converting to Islam is straightforward. First, learn about the faith by reading the Quran and attending lectures. Speak with knowledgeable Muslims for insights. Next, declare the Shahada with sincerity. This can be done privately or with witnesses. Begin practicing the 5 pillars of Islam. Perform daily prayers, fast during Ramadan, give to charity, and plan for the pilgrimage to Mecca. Seek support from the Muslim community. Join a local mosque for friends and mentors. Common misconceptions about Islam. There are many misconceptions about Islam that can create misunderstandings. One common misconception is that Islam is a violent religion. However, Islam emphasizes peace, compassion, and forgiveness. Acts of violence by extremists do not represent the teachings of Islam. Another misconception is that women are oppressed in Islam. In reality, Islam grants women many rights, including the right to education, work, and own property. The Quran and Hadiths emphasize the dignity and respect of women. People often think that Islam is intolerant of other religions. Islam teaches respect for all prophets and recognizes the scriptures of Judaism and Christianity. Muslims are encouraged to live peacefully with people of all faiths. Lastly, some believe that Islam is incompatible with modernity. However, Islam provides a timeless framework that can adapt to contemporary life. Many Muslims successfully balance their faith with modern careers, education, and social responsibilities. Thoughts and encouragement. Becoming a Muslim is a deeply personal and spiritual journey. It involves learning about the faith, declaring the Shahada, and practicing the teachings of Islam. This journey is rewarding and provides a sense of purpose and peace. Embracing Islam means joining a global community of believers. This community offers support, friendship, and a sense of belonging. The practices and principles of Islam promote spiritual growth, ethical living, and social harmony. If you are considering converting to Islam, take the time to learn and understand its teachings. Seek guidance from knowledgeable sources and connect with the Muslim community. Your journey to becoming a Muslim is a path to spiritual fulfillment and a closer relationship with Allah. Islam is a faith of compassion, justice, and mercy. By embracing Islam, you commit to a life of righteousness and service to others. This decision will enrich your life and bring you closer to achieving true peace and contentment. Islam is built upon 5 pillars, which serve as the core principles guiding the lives of Muslims around the world. These pillars are the foundation of Muslim life, providing a framework for worship, ethical conduct, and community. Prayer, or Salat, is one of the most important pillars. Salah is the principal form of worship in Islam. Facing the Kaaba in Mecca, it consists of units called rak'ah, during which the Quran is recited, and prayers from the Sunnah are typically said. The number of rak'ah varies from prayer to prayer. It is a practice that brings Muslims together, uniting them in devotion and purpose. Muslims perform 5 daily prayers, each at specific times throughout the day. Fajr at dawn, Dhuhr at noon, Asr in the afternoon, Maghrib at sunset, and Isha at night. These prayers are a direct link to God, offering a moment to pause, reflect, and seek guidance. They offer a moment of reflection and peace, allowing individuals to step away from the hustle and bustle of daily life. Each prayer has its own special time and significance, marking the rhythm of a Muslim's day and life. These prayers are more than just rituals. They are acts of devotion that reinforce faith and discipline. They are a way for Muslims to connect with the divine, to feel a sense of closeness and intimacy with God. They offer guidance and solace, providing a spiritual compass in times of uncertainty and difficulty. The prayers are a reminder of God's presence, a constant in the ever-changing landscape of life. They help Muslims navigate the challenges of daily life, offering strength, patience, and a sense of community. Through prayer, Muslims find a sense of belonging and continuity, connecting with generations past and future. The act of preparing for prayer itself is a ritual that cleanses the body and mind, setting the stage for a meaningful connection with God. Whether performed in a grand mosque or a quiet corner of a home, the essence of prayer remains the same, a sincere act of worship and devotion. Prayer also fosters a sense of community, bringing people together in shared faith and mutual support. In the quiet moments after prayer, Muslims often reflect on their day, seeking to align their actions with their faith. This reflection often inspires acts of kindness and charity, further strengthening the bonds within the community and beyond. Through the regular practice of prayer, Muslims celebrate their faith, finding joy and fulfillment in their spiritual journey. Fajr is the first prayer of the day, marking the beginning of a new cycle of light and life. It is performed before sunrise in the stillness of the early morning when the world is quiet and serene. This prayer is a time for Muslims to greet the new day with gratitude, acknowledging the blessings they have received and seeking guidance for the day ahead. It is a reminder to start the day with God in mind, to center oneself spiritually before the hustle and bustle of daily life begins. Fajr is a time for reflection and contemplation, a moment to pause and consider one's intentions and actions. The Fajr prayer consists of 2 units of prayer, known as rak'ahs, each involving specific movements and recitations that connect the worshipper to their faith. Muslims often recite verses from the Quran during this prayer, finding solace and inspiration in the holy words. The Fajr prayer is a peaceful way to begin the day, offering a sense of calm and purpose. It sets a spiritual tone for the hours ahead, helping to maintain a sense of balance and mindfulness throughout the day. For many, Fajr is also a communal experience, bringing together family and community members in a shared act of worship. The act of laying down the prayer mat itself becomes a ritual, a preparation for the sacred moments to come. Before Fajr, Muslims perform ablution, a cleansing ritual that purifies the body and mind, readying them for prayer. As dawn breaks and light spreads across the horizon, the Fajr prayer serves as a bridge between night and day, darkness and light. It is a moment of deep connection, a time to seek peace, guidance, and strength for the day ahead. As the prayer concludes, there is a sense of renewal and readiness to face the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. Welcoming the day with Fajr is more than a ritual, it is a profound expression of faith and devotion, setting a positive and spiritual tone for the entire day. Dhuhr is the second prayer of the day. It is performed around midday when the sun is at its highest point. This prayer offers a break from the day's activities. It allows Muslims to reconnect with their faith. Dhuhr is a time to seek forgiveness and guidance. The Dhuhr prayer consists of 4 rak'ahs. Muslims often find peace and tranquility in performing this prayer. It serves as a reminder of the importance of faith amidst a busy schedule. Asr is the 3rd prayer of the day. It is performed in the late afternoon as the sun begins to descend. This prayer time is a reminder of the fleeting nature of time. It is a time to reflect on the day's events. Muslims pray 4 rak'ahs for Asr. This prayer offers a moment of peace and contemplation. It allows individuals to transition from the day's work to their evening. The sunset prayer, gratitude at dusk with Maghrib. Maghrib is the 4th prayer of the day. It is performed just after sunset, as the sky turns a beautiful array of colors. This prayer marks the end of the workday. It's a time to give thanks for the blessings of the day. Maghrib consists of 3 rak'ahs. This prayer is a time for Muslims to pause and appreciate the beauty of creation. It is a reminder to connect with the divine as the day comes to a close. The night prayer. Finding tranquility in Isha. Isha is the final prayer of the day. It is performed at night after the darkness has set in. This prayer marks the end of the day's activities. It allows Muslims to reflect on the day and seek God's forgiveness. The Isha prayer consists of 4 rak'ahs. It is a time for peace and quiet reflection. After Isha, Muslims are ready to end their day. They find tranquility and prepare for a restful sleep. The importance of purity, preparing for prayer. Cleanliness is essential before prayer. Muslims perform a ritual washing called wudu. This involves washing the hands, face, arms, and feet. Wudu is a physical and spiritual cleansing. It symbolizes purity and prepares the heart and mind for prayer. Muslims also dress modestly for prayer. Clean and modest clothing shows respect for God. It helps create a sense of reverence during prayer. A step-by-step guide. Performing the Salat. Salat or prayer is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, a fundamental practice that connects Muslims with their Creator. It is performed 5 times a day at prescribed times, serving as a constant reminder of faith and devotion. Each prayer consists of units called rak'ahs. These units are a series of movements and recitations that are performed in a specific order. The number of rak'ahs varies depending on the time of day and the specific prayer being performed. Every rak'ah involves a sequence of movements and recitations. First, standing, known as qiyam. During qiyam, Muslims stand upright with their hands folded over their chest or at their sides, depending on their tradition. This position signifies respect and attentiveness. Muslims stand facing the direction of Mecca, known as the Qibla. The Qibla is the direction of the Kaaba, the sacred structure located in the Grand Mosque in Mecca. Facing the Qibla symbolizes unity and uniformity in worship. They raise their hands and say, Allahu Akbar, meaning God is great. This phrase is a declaration of the greatness and supremacy of God, and it marks the beginning of the prayer. Second, bowing, known as ruku. In this position, Muslims bend at the waist, keeping their back and head level. This act of bowing is a gesture of humility and submission to God. Muslims bow with their hands on their knees, glorifying God. During ruku, they recite phrases that praise the glory and majesty of God, acknowledging His greatness. Third, prostrating, known as sujud. This is the most profound act of submission in the prayer. Muslims lower themselves to the ground, placing their foreheads, noses, hands, knees, and toes on the floor. Muslims prostrate by touching their foreheads, noses, hands, knees, and toes to the ground. This position signifies the utmost humility and devotion as they are physically closest to the ground, symbolizing their submission to God's will. This is a position of ultimate submission to God. It is during sujud that Muslims often make personal supplications, seeking closeness to God and asking for His guidance and mercy. Fourth, sitting, known as tashahhud. After prostration, Muslims sit on their legs in a position called tashahhud. This sitting posture is a moment of reflection and recitation. Muslims sit on the ground and recite specific prayers affirming their faith. During tashahhud, they recite the testimony of faith, bearing witness to the oneness of God and the prophethood of Muhammad. These steps are repeated a specific number of times for each prayer. The number of rak'ahs varies, with some prayers having 2, 3, or 4 rak'ahs, depending on the time of day and the specific prayer. The Quran is recited during certain rak'ahs. Reciting verses from the Quran is an integral part of the prayer as it brings the words of God into the act of worship. The prayers conclude with a salutation of peace. Muslims turn their heads to the right and then to the left, saying, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, which means peace and mercy of God be upon you. This salutation marks the end of the prayer and extends a greeting of peace to those around them. A global community, the unifying power of prayer. Prayer is a deeply personal act of worship, yet it also fosters a sense of community. Muslims around the world pray together. They face the same direction, the Qibla, and perform the same rituals. This creates a powerful sense of unity and brotherhood. Friday prayers, known as Jumu'ah, are especially significant. Muslims gather in mosques for a sermon and congregational prayer. This weekly gathering strengthens community bonds. It reinforces the message of unity and shared faith. The transformative power of prayer, a lifelong journey. The 5 daily prayers are more than just rituals, they are a transformative practice. Regular prayer offers numerous spiritual benefits. It brings peace, focus, and gratitude. It strengthens faith and deepens the connection with God. Prayer is a lifelong journey of spiritual growth. It helps Muslims navigate the challenges of life. Through prayer they find solace, guidance, and a profound sense of purpose.